Restaurant Unstoppable. Inspire, empower, and transform the industry.
So talking about El Arroyo,
Yeah.
What was it about this opportunity that really sunk to you? Why did you take this opportunity?
It just had a neat feel to it. You know, it'd been around in various forms since 1975. It kind of took its current form in 1987. I knew of it. Actually, the guy at my first job, my first bar job, which is another lesson not to do to somebody, the guy with the bunny costume would take happy hour there early sometime. And at one point he told me that if I helped him hire some more cocktail staff, then he would, one, I worked my butt off. He called me Wonder Mutt because I bar backed for 3 bartenders downstairs and 2 bartenders upstairs, which was like a 20-foot rise, and a steep old building staircase. And I ran my tail off, dripping in sweat every. I mean, I did everything to earn being a bartender, and I was young and I hadn't been doing it that long. But I mean, like I said, he called me Wonder Mutt. I worked so hard, and then I got these other people to come work there, and he promoted them to be bartenders because he liked them better. They were better looking than me, I guess.
I wouldn't go that far.
Anyway, they were fantastic people, and they were hard workers too. They were really nice people, friends of mine. But
so how is this tied to El Arroyo?
Anyway, I went to El Arroyo because he was there one day, and I said, on the patio having margaritas at like 2 on a Wednesday, and I went and I said, listen, I'm not going to keep busting my ass for you if you don't keep your promises to me. And so I said, I'm either you keep your promise or I'm done.
Okay.
I'm going to go find another job. And so that's the first time I went to El Arroyo. But it was busy on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I thought, shit, this is cool. And so anyway, I knew about it a little bit.
So did you actually work there?
No. I just went to find him. He was drinking there.
Got it.
And anyway, he made good on it once I threatened him. People shouldn't put you in that position to.
So it sounds like El Arroyo was doing great back in whatever it was, 1991, 1992. When was it? 2001? Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, so it hit kind of its heyday in 2005.
Okay.
And then it started to taper off. There was El Arroyos everywhere at one point. I mean, there was one in San Marcos and Round Rock and all over Texas, Dallas, Pflugerville, Georgetown, Bee Caves. There was one in New Orleans for like a month. I still don't know the whole story about that. Never heard the whole story. Wasn't there very long. But when we bought it, it was down to 2.
Okay.
And there were very different concepts. We were a licensee in Arlington as well, but 2 corporate stores. And it was 2 stores that were very, very different. And both had, were years and years past remodel. And the guy had owned them, big personality. He just maybe had lost a little interest, hadn't paid as much attention to him as he used to in a long time, and he was ready to sell them. And so anyway, I talked to him on the phone one day, and it was just about El Arroyo. I don't remember if he called me or I called him. I don't remember, but essentially we talked about whether El Arroyo was something that we would buy and he would sell. And anyway, my wife was pregnant with twins at the time. She was on bed rest, and I remember that. And we ended up negotiating the final deal points from the hospital cafeteria. So she was on bed rest in the hospital. And so on negotiating the final deal points over this like horrible pumpkin spice coffee in the cafeteria of the hospital to buy it. And then anyway, it was like we ended up taking it on. It was fairly distressed, had some issues. Went in there and focused on cleaning up infrastructure first. So replaced all the kitchen equipment.
A lot of the same stuff from the first lessons we learned from you from the first restaurants you purchased, right?
Yeah.
Just going in there, facelifting, solving the problems, fixing the things that need to be fixed. What about people?
Well, so we actually try to do it from the inside out. And so normally a lot of people want to come in and they want to do facial, they want to do like improvements, facelifts and stuff like that. We tend to start with like getting the POS in order, getting the equipment in order, getting the fundamental infrastructure in place so the employees can do their jobs. And then we'll go clean up the way it appears.
Got it.
Yeah.
Was there anything different about this flip that hasn't come up yet? Any new lessons that we can learn?
Yeah. It was crazy. I mean, I'd never had like a kitchen walkout before. And like the first night we owned it, the whole kitchen at one of the stores was like all walked out the door.
Was there like words exchanged? Did you piss them off or
no,
what?
that's just how they were used to getting raises, they said.
Oh.
And so they were like, that's how we get a raise here. I was like, y'all just quit at the same time? And I was like, I haven't even met some of you guys yet. We just bought the place. So anyway, they were like, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I don't work like that. So bye. And then I just brought guys over that had been working at other stores with us.
Yeah.
And we figured it out.
At this point, you have 4 or 5 other locations total, right?
Yeah, we had 3 other locations. This was stores 4 and 5. Yeah.
So you were, people deep. You had, you could call in favors if you need to. And that was what.
Yeah, and we never had that happen. Like, our kitchen staff has worked with us forever. I mean, a lot of these guys have worked with us for 15 years, and it's just not something that had ever happened to us because we don't give people a reason to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's another great example of just like the power of just having a deep network and loyalty and multiple businesses is that you can call an audible. You can pull from one business to another business to hobble along if you need to. Did these folks come back after they realized that they weren't going to get their jobs back, or they're like, okay, we'll work? Or did you not let them back?
Some of them tried to, and I just said no thanks.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's it's kind of an easy way to, instead of having to fire them, they kind of made it easy for you, right?
Yeah, and it was a hard situation because to some degree they might have been conditioned to do that, but it's also like, what else have you been conditioned to do? That it's still not right of them to do to us because we haven't done anything to them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's still not right. And what else have they been conditioned to do? And it was
it's
like,
not how you want to start a new relationship. In business.
No. So we just said, let's just move on.
I get that. What else?
I think we learned. So it's interesting. The El Arroyo sign is something that a lot of people know it for. So it's like this marquee sign that's in front of the restaurant. We put a different funny message on it every day, and we've developed like a very strong brand voice for it, and it's got a big following. It's got about 725,000 social media followers between Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we've got branded products we sell all over the country. It's just got a big presence, and a lot of it's driven by that. With the sign at the time, it was interesting. The staff had to do it every night before they could leave. And so, that was kind of interesting because a lot of people aren't into that kind of stuff.